I want to talk about fear, and I want to talk about love and light. Okay. Love and light, for people who haven't heard, is a form of, I feel like it's very equivalent to thoughts and prayers, right? Like if an earthquake happens and you send somebody your thoughts and prayers. I mean, I don't want to say, right, your thoughts and prayers don't mean anything, because of course, intentionality and care for another person mentally is important. It's also like your love and light, your prayers and thoughts are not going to put food in nobody's belly. It's not going to relieve the devastation that happened if there was a natural disaster. It's not ever even necessarily going to comfort the people the loss that people have experienced. So, I don't know, I guess love and light magic is a direct contrast to like shadow magic or dark magic, which usually has a bad rap, right? Dark and black things often have a bad rap because they're associated with death and mystery and evil, right? And light is usually associated with love and right and purity, and you can see it and shit. But also, for me, love and light can be quite blinding. The example that's coming up specifically is when I think about the current state of the world, it is uncomfortable and it is scary. It's important that we remain grounded in our bodies, in our abilities, in our community, in our power to know that we can overcome, etc., etc. However, it's not only entirely normal but important that we're afraid, right? Because we are very disconnected from our emotions. I think most of us know that, right? When we feel an emotion that is uncomfortable or unwanted, we usually want to neutralize it because we don't get why it's coming up. And so we just want to get rid of it, because especially if you were a kid who wasn't allowed to feel any emotion, but like, yes, then of course every other emotion feels like, a war on your body. But for instance, right, if you feel anger as an emotion, it's an emotion that gets you moving, right? If you it's about to get you up, right? Anger is an emotion that moves you, right? It gets you moving. Like I said, it gets you going. It initiates things. It sparks up because there's something that is unjust that is happening. You're trying to face an injustice. You're trying to protect somebody, usually somebody more vulnerable than you or yourself, if you're feeling vulnerable, right? If there's a break of trust, it also makes sense that we get mad, because it's like trying to correct, right? Trying to stop harm, trying to stop something. But so many of us are told, oh, just breathe it out, usa, be zen. That's what I mean by love and light coming in to distract from real emotions. And of course you don't want to go and destroy things just because you're mad, but I think this is people's connotation. Just like people think conflict means fighting when really it just means a difference of needs, people look at anger and think destruction, or anger and think of broken relationships, or anger and conflict. But that's not what anger is. Anger as an emotion is something that gets you moving, right? It's like when you're angry in your body, your heart rate starts going up, the blood starts rushing. Like emotion is an impulse inside, right? Same thing with something like fear, right? Fear, when you experience fear, it gets your body prepared to fight or flight as well, right? Because if you're scared, you feel the hair rising on your neck, you feel tense, you're starting to look around, you all, what's going on? Your breathing is shallow and stuff. Of course, there's anxiety, right? Anxiety, I feel like, is fear about what you can't quite control for. So if you're thinking about next week's interview and it's not something you've been there yet and you're really fretting about it, that's anxiety, right? That's fear about something that hasn't happened. It's like a perceived fear. But like if somebody has a gun in front of your face and you feel afraid, that's not anxiety. That's fear, because you know what the hell a gun does and it's in your face. Fear. And so when you feel the fear, it's actually telling you run, right? It's telling you go, it's telling you fight, it's telling you something to do, because you need to get yourself safe. You need to figure out something to ensure your survival. But when we talk about love and light, usa, and zen it out, somebody got a gun in your face, oh, well, they don't got power over you. The gun will kill you. You can think of yourself as invincible if you want to. You can meditate yourself out of fear. But that doesn't change the fact that you're now in a position of danger that you need to get out of. Be it, right? Maybe if you're calm, you can negotiate with the person or disarm them or whatever. But you're going to have to react to this situation. Love and light will have you standing there like, I guess it's my time. And I do believe we do need to be accepting of things for sure, right? We have to accept that we are not in control, right? Like, just like the sun rises without you don't got to believe in the sun for it to rise and set every day. It's doing that shit anyway, right? Same thing for like, if I drop this like this, I don't have to do anything to have faith that gravity is going to work, right? It's just going to do what it's going to do. So, I don't know. It's just like a very interesting spot to see, I don't know, the ways that we've been blinded by love and light, and how it's like, it's gaslighting, right? Like, it falls in the same, and I don't want to get all the way into this, but it falls in the same category as like the law of attraction and stuff. The law of attraction is one of many laws, right? And they only taught you one because it throws it all out of balance and it fits best in the system, right? Because law of attraction says that your thoughts create your reality. So if you're poor, that's your fault, right? If you're sick, that's your fault. If you feel that way, that's on you. Your mind not healthy enough. You're not thinking about the abundance that you are. That's why you ain't got no legs. What? You know what I'm saying? It's I'll have more to say about this as I think about spiritual capitalism, like how a lot of new age spirituality reflects our capitalistic systems, and kind of we've just swapped the words or the category and made it all spiritual stuff, spiritpreneur and shit. But it's really capitalism dressed up in a nice little, in a dashiki or something with some crystals on it. That's really what this new age kind of shit is about. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have heard of spiritual bypassing, but that's essentially what I'm talking about as well. This idea that, I don't know, you can overcome ugly truths about the world. Like, my favorite example of this current day is like, I know that humanity is undergoing a deep awakening, right? Like, a lot of shit is fucking up because people need to stop being sleep, right? And not sleep in terms of get woke, right? But there's a lot of things happening that people don't seem to register, people don't seem to have an issue with, people don't, like, there's a lot of things that we have been fed that we take for granted and we don't really think about beyond, right? And I think we're all being asked to think deeper about a lot of things, about our choices, about work, about community, what it looks like to care for each other, what it looks like to care for ourselves. How do we sustain ourselves? How do we sustain a society? Because all this shit really not working out the way that, like, we're watching it. It's not in our favor, right? So yes, humanity is undergoing this experience. And yes, it's all part of God's plan. But I take a lot of issues with that because, one, who is God? What the fuck going on with his plan? And what kind of plan is this? Who made him in charge of the plan? I'm not going to get into all that. But I bring it up just because I feel like love and light is meant to kind of distract us from our fear, blind us from our fear, which is our body telling us to find ways to stay safe, to protect ourselves, right? To be just wary, not to distrust, but to be like, something right here, right? But love and light is like, nah, everything is good. Everything is chilling, actually. That's just you. You know, you got to get your vibration right if you're scared. No, it's a scary time. Because yes, I can recognize that humanity is awakening and we're up leveling our consciousness and all this. It is by way of some scary shit. Okay? Like, it is by way of some violent things. Right? The gun violence that is wild in New York, like, I should not be hearing people getting shot or hearing gunshots regular. What are we talking about? That's not, oh, just saw it away. Oh, that's just because you got in your head guns. What? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like love and light puts yes, I'm all about personal responsibility. Again, it's important that we stay grounded and connect to our power in a time that is about fear. It doesn't mean just, okay, everybody just be afraid. And I get that love and light is what's grounding for some people, but don't ground yourself in an illusion, in something that is teaching you, disregard what your body says. Disregard everything that you feel inside in favor of this more positive feeling, this more light approach. It just is very dangerous. I feel like it is misleading us. And I know for me, I was caught up in it for a while because it feels good. Why do I want to face reality, the reality that there are homeless people? Because it's by design, Would I rather face that, to think that there's really people who are not caring about other people? Like, our government has built a system so that people can be taken advantage of or forgotten or profited off of. Do I want to believe that? Or do I want to believe that those individuals just, they just did something wrong. That's what got them there, because that takes away the chance that I could be in that same position, because it's based on their individual choices. And of course, yes, there's individual choice that comes in when people are, I was going to say like homeless people, right? In situations that are unfavorable. Of course, there's personal responsibility. But also, there's a huge gap to get back into the world then. And that's not because of their thoughts. It's not because they're not trying, right? As a person who has been looking for work and who lives mobily, like nomadically, I can see how challenging it is to get started if you don't have a home, address even. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I said, I'll say more about this as it comes to me more. I'm learning to just share what is fresh off the dome, get deeper into it, because I can always come back and expound on a topic. So that's what I'm just thinking about right now. Don't let them fool you. If you feel afraid, check in with your gut, right? Your gut will tell you what it do. And I think that's the thing that's dangerous with love and light, is like it tells you to almost surpass your gut for this superior thought that everything is going to be okay. And I'm like, everything is going to be as it needs to be, for sure. But like, you gotta ask the question of who's so invested in you being like, everything is gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Who benefits most from you buying that message and selling it to other people? People who doing a lot of shit that's not okay. They probably want you to keep thinking it's okay and tell other people it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just fascinating. But be wary, y'all. Honestly, tune into your bodies. Don't just believe people because, they say stuff. And don't reject people just because what they say is scary to you, right? Because fear is telling you something. You want to be, you're just spreading fear. You want to be unaffected so you can feel safe. But actually check in with your body. If you feel afraid, your body's trying to tell you something. You know what I'm saying? Don't let love and light take you away from your feelings.